Well, hey guys, I should say good afternoon. I know it's an early afternoon right now. Great to be with everyone. This is John C. Morley, serial entrepreneur, and you are watching Inspirations for Your Life. Incidentally, we are kicking off a brand new master topic because why? It's Saturday. And so our master topic for the entire week, starting with today, Saturday, is the hidden rules of real success, what life doesn't tell you. And we are on series 4. Of course, we are on show 35 and we are on episode number 1. So it is really great to be with everyone here on the show. Thank you so much for being here. Really do appreciate that. If you have not checked out believemeachieve.com, why not check that out after the show? By the way, that's available 24 hours a day after the show. You definitely can do that. All right, guys. So, without any further ado, I'd like to invite you if you guys are thirsty or maybe you want a snack or something, feel free to go grab that snack right now and come on back, whether it's healthy, whether it's tart, whether it's sweet or not. That's up to you. Come on back to the show and we will kick this off. All right, everyone. I have my RO bottle of fresh water here that I got from my water drop system, which I just love. No, they don't pay me anything to say that, but I love water so much, and that water just is amazing. So again, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Whether you're coming back for the first time or this is your very first time here, just thanks for being here to Inspirations for Your Life, the podcast where ideas collide, perspectives open new doors, and you're reminded that the best strength often comes from the places you least expect. I'm John C. Morley, serial entrepreneur, podcast host, podcast coach, video producer, engineer, marketing specialist, graduate student, lifelong passionate learner, and of course, much, much more. And today I'm diving into a powerful truth. What is it? Diversity is strength. Whether we're in business, friendships, or leadership, embracing differences, well, can be the difference between stagnation and success. Think about it. Every invention, every breakthrough, every meaningful moment in history came from people daring to think differently. Diversity is not about checking boxes, it's about creating environments where perspectives meet, voices are heard, and collaboration thrives. In this episode, I'm going to walk you through 15, not 5, not 10, but 15 lessons that show how diversity strengthens teams, inspires creativity, and transforms challenges into opportunities. Then, just before we end the show, at the last part of the show, I'm going to give you some personal lessons from my life. So, 15 lessons on diversity is strength. Number 1, different perspectives spark bigger ideas. And so, when everyone at the table thinks the same way, ideas stay limited. But when different perspectives come together, sparks just sort of fly everywhere. A problem seen from multiple angles can reveal solutions that would have never been visible otherwise. That's why some of the most successful teams intentionally bring together people from different industries, cultures, and mindsets, because fresh perspectives lead to breakthroughs. Number 2, guys, diversity breaks echo chambers. It's easy to surround yourself with people who agree with you, but that creates an echo chamber where growth is limited. Real diversity introduces disagreement, alternative viewpoints, and challenges to your assumptions. And while it can be uncomfortable at first, breaking out of echo chambers is what helps individuals, organizations grow into something, well, much greater. Number 3, guys, unique voices build stronger teams. Think of a sports team. If everyone had the exact same skill, they'd lose. You'd need variety, defenders, strikers, playmakers, and strategists. The same is true in life and business. Unique voices bring different strengths, and when combined, they create teams far stronger than the sum of all of its parts. Number 4, guys, inclusion drives innovation. Some of the best ideas never see the light of day, unfortunately, simply because the people holding them don't feel welcome to share their ideas. Inclusion changes that. by making sure everyone has a seat at the table and feels valued. Organizations unlock hidden talent this way. Innovation thrives in our environments where every voice counts, not just the big leaders. Number five, guys, every culture adds wisdom. Every culture carries stories, traditions, and lessons learned through centuries of experience. When we open ourselves to learning from these, we inherit wisdom beyond what we could ever discover alone. This cultural exchange creates new tools for solving problems, building connections, and understanding the human experience more fully. Number six, guys, differences fuel creativity. Creativity doesn't come from sameness, it comes from combining different influences. So, just like mixing colors creates new shades, mixing perspectives creates bold new ideas. Artists, entrepreneurs, and inventors alike often find inspiration not from what they already know, but from the differences they embrace. Number seven, guys, collaboration beats competition. Competition can push people forward, but collaboration basically multiplies what's possible. When diverse groups pull their talents, they achieve results no single individual could match. It's the mindset shift from me versus you to us together that transforms challenges into victories. Number eight, strength comes from unity, not sameness. True unity isn't about being identical, it's about fitting together like puzzle pieces, different in shape, but essential to completing the bigger picture. The community or team built on sameness is fragile, but one built on complementary differences is nearly, well, if I may say so, unbreakable. Number nine, diversity challenges comfort zones. I've said this before. We have to practice getting comfortable being uncomfortable. So we have to get out of those comfort zones. Growth happens when we're pushed outside of what feels easy, comfortable. Diversity forces us to see the world differently, rethink what we thought was true, and adapt. While it may stretch us a little, that stretch makes us stronger, wiser, and of course, more resilient in the long run. Number 10, guys, when all voices are heard, solutions multiply. Some of the, I should say, some of the best voices are heard um, from the quietest voices in the room. When everyone feels safe to share, the number of possible solutions expands. Diversity ensures that no good idea, folks, that's right, no good idea is left unheard, and no unique perspective is overlooked. Number 11, guys, diverse teams adapt faster. When challenges arise, teams with similar backgrounds often struggle to pivot. Um, Diverse teams, however, pull from wider range of experiences, making them faster at adapting and responding. Their flexibility is their competitive edge. Number 12, guys, variety prevents stagnation. Sameness leads to predictability, and predictability leads to stagnation. Diversity keeps ideas fresh, sparks curiosity, and of course, keeps organizing moving forward. Instead of getting stuck in the past, variety keeps momentum, well, alive. Number 13, inclusion creates belongingness. We all want to feel valued and accepted. Inclusion isn't just about diversity, folks, on the surface. It's about creating environments where people truly feel they belong. That sense of belongingness unleashes loyalty, creativity, and energy that transforms groups into thriving communities. Number 14, guys, shared humanity, different stories. No matter where we come from, we all share the same human needs: love, purpose, safety, and growth. But the stories we carry are unique. When we listen to those different stories, we connect on a deeper level, learning and growing together in very interesting but powerful ways. Number 15, true strength is built upon differences, not despite them. Strength doesn't come from pretending we're all the same. It comes from embracing the differences that make us unique and weaving them together into something greater. The most resilient structures are built with diverse materials, and the same is true of strong teams. Organizing and knowing your organizations and communities is a key, knowing your strengths, knowing your weaknesses. And so I think that's a really key thing. So here's the part in the program that I think you guys are really going to like. I like this part of the program. So this is where I basically come up with my 15 personal lessons. Why? Because I want to motivate you. I want to get you excited to do this in your own life. So I'm going to give you 15 personal lessons or stories. And it is my sincere hope that it will inspire you, okay, to be greater than you already are. And I know that sounds like something that is like, very cliche, but it's the truth. When I can give you something personal in my life, it's like you resonate with that idea, with that concept, right? That's the whole enchilada. But some people, for whatever reason, they don't resonate because it's not what somebody else said or what somebody else thinks it should be. And that oftentimes is what holds us back to becoming a success. We know in our heart what we want to do, but sometimes we're afraid because we're like, well, what if this person doesn't like the idea? Who cares if the other person doesn't like the idea? You have a right to share that idea, guys. You have a right to share it every single day of your life. So I think that's a very, very important thing. And I'm hoping that you will embrace that concept because when you embrace it, well, we can be really unstoppable. Are you ready for my first point? I know you are. So number one, the first lesson I want to share with you today is the day I listened and not led. I used to walk into every room thinking I needed to lead. But one day in a community brainstorming session, I stayed quiet, just listened. A shy young person from a completely different background offered an idea that changed our entire project direction. I learned that leadership isn't always about speaking up. Sometimes it's about creating space for others to shine in their own time. The intern who rewrote the rule book. Years ago, an intern from abroad challenged our standard process. At first, I resisted, but when we tested his idea, productivity jumped 30%. His fresh eyes, untouched by the way we're always have done it, reminded me that the brilliance often comes from the outside in. And I think we've got to be willing to accept and embrace those moments from different people, from different cultures. A mentor from another world. My most impactful mentor was nothing like me. 30 years older, different race, different industry, but what we shared was hunger to grow. He saw the world in angles. I never considered it that way. That mentorship showed me that wisdom doesn't come from similarity, but from contrast. And together, we're able to compare and contrast and grow. My first multicultural team. I once managed a team with members from 5 continents. Our meetings were chaotic at first, language barriers, cultural clashes, misunderstandings galore. But over time, it became our superpower. We solved problems faster and more creatively than any team I'd ever led. See, diversity didn't just work, it excelled. And I think that's something a lot of people need to understand. Diversity works when it excels. The silent genius. There was an engineer on our team who rarely spoke up. One day during a problem-solving session, I specifically asked for his thoughts. What he shared solved the problem we've been stuck on for quite a few weeks. It was a reminder that sometimes the quietest voice has the loudest impact in the room, if we make room to hear them. Learning to love pushback. I know you guys don't want to hear this. Early in my career, I hated being challenged, but a colleague from a different industry always questioned my ideas. Over time, I realized he wasn't trying to oppose me, he was sharpening my thinking. Now I seek out people who push back, not rudely, but in a way that just says, what's the other side of the coin? Growth doesn't come from comfort, folks. It comes from friction. And we know from life, friction can lead to success. After all, if we didn't have friction, we wouldn't have movement. We wouldn't have our cars, right? We wouldn't have a lot of our moving parts. You need friction to have that. A lunch that changed everything. I once had lunch with someone from a culture I knew little about. We talked life, family, faith, and food. That one conversation reshaped how I approached marketing, not with assumptions, but with curiosity. True understanding starts with asking, not assuming. And I think a lot of people, they go inward and try to say, I'm going to assume everything so they don't have to have communication, but that's actually bad. So don't assume everything. The power of second chances. A colleague made a big mistake at work. Many wanted him off the team, but he came from a background where failure wasn't failure, it was feedback. He stayed, he grew, and became one of our best performers. His resilience came from a cultural value I didn't understand until I saw it in action, and it was quite remarkable. The day I realized I was wrong, didn't like this day, but it taught me and allowed me to grow. I once dismissed someone's approach because it felt too different. Later, I realized I didn't understand the full context. Their method worked, just not in the way I expected it to. That day taught me that different doesn't mean wrong, it means worth exploring. Let me say that again. Different doesn't mean wrong, it means worth exploring. The creative collision. At a startup hackathon, a coder, an artist, and a psychologist teamed up. None spoke the same language, but their project blew everyone away. The mashup of logic and vision created magic. Innovation isn't born in silos, guys. It's born in collisions. And I think those that want to stay in silos will never be able to truly harness their full potential. My bias was invisible. I once assumed someone wasn't qualified based on how they spoke. Turns out they had a PhD and spoke 5 languages. I was humbled. Diversity isn't just something you celebrate, folks. It's something that challenges your blind spots if you allow it to. The unexpected leader. In a crisis, our go-to manager from this government organization that I was part of back when I got out of college froze. But a junior team member, an immigrant, just a year into the company, stepped up with a calm leadership demeanor and saved the day. Leadership doesn't always wear the badge you expect or do the things you expect, but they get the results. Learning from loss. We lost a deal once because we didn't consider the cultural norms of our international client. That painful mistake made us change our entire approach. Now we bring culture advisors into every pitch. Sometimes your losses are best teachers that we have, especially when they teach you to see differently. The power of pronouns. One team member asked to be addressed with different pronouns. At first, some colleagues resisted, but when we embraced it, something shifted, not just for them, but for the whole team. Respect builds belongingness, and belongingness builds trust. And I think that's something that a lot of cultures, a lot of groups, a lot of people dismiss. Why? Because it's uncomfortable and because they don't understand it. Because it's uncomfortable, they don't want to put an effort in to try to learn it. After all, I'd rather just stay comfortable on my couch. Remember, guys, if you don't push the envelope a little bit, success comes from when you decide to embrace getting uncomfortable. A celebration of differences. At our annual team retreat, we introduced a new tradition. Every person shares one thing unique about their culture. It became the most anticipated event. We laughed, we cried, we learned, and came back stronger, celebrating differences. And that didn't divide us. You know what it did, ladies and gentlemen? It united us. So this whole week is about the hidden rules, right? That's what it's about. It's about those hidden rules. The hidden rules that no one shares to get us to real success. what people don't tell us. Sometimes people don't tell us, and I'm going to be quite honest with you, it's because, well, they don't really want you to get ahead. Now, that sounds really bad, but it's the truth, guys. It's the truth. People don't want you to get ahead. A lot of people don't, because if you get ahead, then that might put them back, they feel. They don't realize that we all can work together and harmonize, right? Whoever knew a musician to just play only themselves? They always would love to have additional instruments accompany them, right? But sometimes when we're doing a task and that task doesn't allow us to add complements to it. So music is one thing, right? You can have harmony and things like that. What else has harmony? Well, not just music, but let's think about projects. Projects you're working on, you might be very good at numbers. One other person might be really good at the emotional appeal. Another person might be really good at the aesthetic appeal. Another person might be really good on um, the process. And I think these are things that a lot of people don't realize. You see, no one's going to be an expert at everything. I remember first time I did a training for Medicare Part A and Part B right out of college. They have something called a SME. What the heck is a SME? Not a you, not a me, a SME, a subject matter expert. And that's someone who wasn't technical, but that's someone who knew the field of this specific discipline. I'll give an example. There was one discipline or domain, I will call it, where it had to do with benefits for a Part A and Part B Medicare subscriber. And he knew these benefits inside and out. So whenever we had a question about something, they needed to change a script or needed to change a prompt, we went to him because he was the go-to person. When we had an issue about maybe something like compliance, well, that wasn't him. That was another SME, another subject matter expert. And so by using these SMEs, now these SMEs alone weren't able to do the job because they didn't have the technical skills that we did. But when we harnessed their knowledge from the domain that they were an expert in, we were able to take that project very, very far, guys. Very far. And I think the reason these rules are hidden is because we're always looking at just the top, right? Think of that, that big glacier, right? Where, you have the big rock that appears on the top, but that's just the tip of the iceberg, right? What's below that iceberg is really big. We say it's just the tip of the iceberg. It means that that's only the initial understanding. That's not even the full context. And I think as we start to understand stuff, it makes sense. I have you guys can't see it here, but I have a power burst flashlight here. So right now, this flashlight is completely dead. Now, the reason it's dead is because I have not charged it. So it's a little, basically 2200 milliamp, 8-watt battery, Royal PF 2200 made in China. It's blue, has a light in it, really cool looking, and has a USB on one side and has the basically the smaller port, the USB-C on the other side. So you could charge either way. You also could charge one way, and you could also do a pass-through on the other side, so you could have another device charge at the same time. But if I just looked at this device, okay, from maybe just a few feet away, maybe I didn't know it was rechargeable. Maybe I didn't know that this light actually had 8 watts of power or 2200 milliamps, right? And it was 5 watts, but its capacity was 8 watts. So the input is 5 watts and the output is 5 watts, but its capacity is 8 watts for basically for fire and things like that. So just looking at this flashlight, there isn't a way, because usually you think about, you could twist it or something. Well, this flashlight has no way to twist it. There's just no way to twist this flashlight. I mean, if you twist it, you'll break it. Just looking at it, just observing. This morning, I had just gotten a warning on my new fridge that the water filter had gone. So first thing I was looking at is, where is the water filter on this fridge? Because it wasn't like directly obvious. So just kind of looking around, and I said, where would there be something that I could turn? And it wasn't quite obvious. because it was hidden between the left drawer and the right drawer in the fridge. And so just nestled between there was a little square post. And you turn that, and that's where the water filter was. So I ordered one of those. But so a lot of times people miss things because they're looking at the big picture. They don't look at, well, the specific tree. You've heard me say this before. A lot of people look at the entire forest, but they don't look at the specific tree. Sometimes people look at a specific tree and don't look at the whole forest. So you've got to look at everything. So in the case of my fridge, I knew that I had to look at the whole tree, but I also had to look at each part of the tree because that was the only way I was going to figure out, well, what I needed. And so that's an interesting thing. But just making that, let's say, hypotheses about where it is. And then also taking note about the fact that you have to go and change it. There's a lock on the door. You have to unlock the button by holding it for 3 seconds. And then you have to hold the other button down where the ice maker is for 3 seconds. And then once you've done that and you've changed it, then you go back and you lock it again. These little nuances can sometimes frustrate people because they're always looking at things from only a higher level view. And they don't have the ability to zoom in, just like we do with the camera sometimes, right? We zoom in on myself, we zoom out. When we do those things, we add a perspective to whatever we have, whether it's a video production, a podcast, whether it's life. It's like we give it another dimension, another dynamic. I mean, I think that's probably the best way to say that. And I think a lot of people that look at something at the surface level say, well, gee, that's all it is. But they never bother to go underneath the iceberg. And I think that's why a lot of these rules, ladies and gentlemen, are hidden. Not because they're a secret. It's just that people don't pay attention to what's under the iceberg. They figure that it's not important. But really, ladies and gentlemen, it's very important. Because knowing that just we're at the tip of the iceberg and there's so much more underneath, that can be pretty powerful. So a lot of you have been asking what's been going on with the show. So we're looking to probably migrate to another streaming system, which we've been using for a while. We've been testing another one out. We had some crashes with this, and we've been with this one for about a year. So we're moving to another platform, which does a lot more things, and that'll probably be happening in about 2 weeks. Those of you that are watching us online or cable and things like that, it doesn't affect you. But for those of you that are watching us live or coming back, that's still going to be fine. It's just that we're going to add some other things. Like now we're going to be able to add the stream right to our website, which is going to be pretty cool. All right, guys, I hope you have a great rest of your day. I'm John C. Morley, serial entrepreneur. Do check out BelieveMeAchieve.com for more of my amazing, inspiring creations. Take care, everyone.